Hello everyone. Today we have with us Sarthak Rastogi from Huddle. Huddle is an accelerator for early stage companies in India. It supports these ventures during their early validation and growth stages through pre-seed, seed, as well as pre-series A funding. Sarthak, who works as an associate at Huddle, spends most of his time refining internal theses, which are split across strategic sectors by targeting early stage ventures that offer scalable and defensible solutions. He also works closely with the portfolio to track key business metrics, growth trajectories through proactive support in the form of productization, go to market strategy, and stakeholder management. His focus areas within Huddle include food and beverages, FMCG, EV, and deep tech. Sarthak holds a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Washington at Seattle. Having worked previously in Seattle's IT industry, which is home to biggies such as Microsoft and Amazon, he has garnered an understanding and deep inclination for technology focused and process oriented ventures. He hopes to replicate Seattle's burgeoning startup ecosystem within India, and he also wants to ensure that India's transition to a more mature startup ecosystem happens sooner than later. I welcome you, Sarthak. First of all, I would like to thank you for the great work that you and your company are doing in India. We have seen that Huddle has lately been inclined towards plant based companies, and that is one main reason why I wanted to have this session with you. So,
Yeah,
Sarthak, over to you. Please give us an overview of Huddle and the areas of interest.
yeah. Thanks, Supriya. Thanks for the very warm introduction. Really appreciate that. So yeah, just to tell you guys a little bit about Huddle. As Supriya rightly mentioned, we are an early stage, accelerator, sort of working towards companies in the sort of pre-seed, seed, bridge, and Series A sort of mix. On the surface of it, we are an accelerator, but we try to sort of be as contextual as we can in our ability to accelerate our ventures. We are highly selective in our ability to sort of accelerate the right ventures. And while we try to maintain a sector agnostic approach, a quick peep in our portfolio will tell you that we are very bullish on certain consumer segments. Within consumer, F&B, FMCG, consumer tech is always sort of good for us. Apart from that, we have a very established thesis on electrical vehicles, which is an extension of our entire sustainable energy perspective as well. And then more recently, we've also been inclined on fintech solutions as well. So we do try to maintain a healthy balance of sort of these areas, but our inclinations and our heart really goes towards consumer startups across subsectors identified.
Right. So, what do you look for in these startups? So, when you select a venture, what do you look for it?
Yeah, I think it's a variety of components that go into finding the right venture. I think more often than not, it's about high growth businesses at the end of the day. And not being picked up by anyone else for funding or acceleration has nothing to do with how well you're growing, right? Oftentimes there are great sustainable ventures which are growing well month on month. But venture capital, and at least we look at high growth ventures which are able to grow exponentially given the efforts that we kickstart from our side, right? We try to be more than just investors from our regard. So from a consumer standpoint, since we're sort of catering towards that side of the discussion, there's always the usual suspects for any consumer venture. Specifically talking for a product-based company, um, your pain points can include sort of distribution avenues, logistic support, marketing advisory, performance marketing optimization, SEO, fundraising, so on and so forth, right? And fundraising also in itself comes in multiple forms, whether it's revenue based, whether it's crowdfunding, or whether it's working capital support or pure equity financing. So what I'm trying to say here is we try to work towards all of these elements in a highly contextual manner. And that's the reason why we spend the time in refining our internal thesis around consumer areas, out of which plant-based is certainly one that's caught our eye. But we've taken these bets in the past. A quick peep will tell you that we've focused on the keto wellness space in the past. We've also focused on tonic water as a consumer segment in the past. So we do try to break it down to as niche as we can for us to try and find high growth ventures in that particular niche.
So basically, talking about high growth ventures, do you see any companies which you can term as high growth ventures in the plant-based and vegan space?
I think there are many. Plus, even in the plant-based ecosystem, I think we need to sort of try and map out what sectors there are, right? Like you have this entire lab-grown culture meat space, which is not exactly plant-based, right? There's no sort of in its true definition, it's not plant.
Completely animal-based.
Correct. So it's this entire lab cultured meat movement which is happening. Then there's this, the true definition of plant-based sort of pea protein, mock meat, soya, everything itself in that ventures that fall into that category. Then there's this entire dairy first category for plant consumption, and more recently, I'm also seeing a lot of movement in plant-based personal care products as well. So sorry, I kind of forgot your question, but I think your question was more catered towards which am I bullish towards, right? Yeah, which companies do I see? I think overall, if we just look at what's happened over the world, right? You have companies in Europe which have done phenomenally well, or even the US which have done phenomenally well. It's been slightly late to pick up in India, but overall, I wouldn't like to sort of just categorize that I'm bullish on this particular sector in plant-based, but I can certainly see the momentum being picked up. A quick comparative study will tell you anything that happens in the US happens in India 3 years after. And that's kind of what I'm seeing as well. Given the fact that India has a majority vegetarian population, the market size certainly seems large enough for any venture in this space to make an impact.
Yeah, so basically you're not selective about segments. Any segment which is doing good is.
I wouldn't say we're not selective. We are selective in our ability to accelerate certain segments, but we're fairly we put a variety of filters on whether or not to accelerate the segment. Even if I have conviction over, let's say, plant-based dairy, I need to have conviction on a variety of other elements of the business, which are more consumer focused, right? For a consumer venture, it's very important, for example, to have small competitive advantages in your backend. Do you own your supply chain, or do you know what's the source of your supply chain, or do you have in-house manufacturing? Do you think you have some competitive advantage against others in the same ecosystem? And I think can't broadly say that I like this sector or that sector. I think we've maintained our sector agnostic approach, and we'll never be averse to entering a sector if the basic market size filters applied, or high growth potential is applied. But beyond that, I think it's very sort of venture specific to a venture as to how we accelerate and invest in the right company.
Right. And how important is the founding team, the leadership team for you, if we talk about these ventures?
Yeah, I think, and this goes beyond consumer sectors. I think founding teams, especially in very sort of up and coming areas, play a massive role, not just in the organization that they're part of themselves or they founded themselves, but I also feel they have a thought leadership type perspective, which applies to everyone else, right? So if I see 10 companies in plant-based meat, for example, and if I see the success of a particular company doing well, I think that's winner chicken dinner, right? Everyone does well if a model has been validated by this industry leader. And that industry leadership usually comes from founders of that company and the work they've done. So leadership definitely plays a big role. It's one of the filters that we apply throughout our ability to find the right venture. It can be a make or break sometimes. Yes.
Right. Very true. So, if for example, if I ask you that if you compare Indian plant-based industry with that in the West, and there's so much investment flowing in these countries, and we are just beginning to do that. So, what kind of tips will you give to these companies which are entering this space, and what should they do to seek more investment and to grow in the coming years?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think the country, just by virtue of pure statistics, right, the ability for people to eat and consume plant-based food and beverage is high. Everyone's staple diet is still vegetarian and not non-vegetarian, right? Like out of 7 days, most people are eating 5 meals, 5 to 6 days of vegetarian food, or vegan food for that fact. So the consumption habit is there, right, for you to take advantage of. Um, what I would say that plant-based companies need to do, and seeing just what's happening in other countries, is that really make sure you guys are communicating this ability, right? Um, I certainly feel that there's a lot that can be done for plant-based companies in the country just by the way how they're communicating their sort of niche offering, right? At the end of the day, it's really just about creating a differentiated product, a product with good unit economics, and communicating it to the right people. And early validation has already been achieved with a bunch of Indian companies in this space. So it's only going to pick up. I definitely compare this to the whole keto wave that happened back in 2016, 17, 18, and how keto has now been normalized into everyday jargon. Um, so I'm personally hoping that this sort of happens over time for plant-based companies. It's certainly happening now, at least in the progress. It's a work in progress, I would say. Yeah.
Right. What about quality of products? Because these companies, if we compare it to for example, in mock meat, in the plant-based meat segment, the companies that are in the West, they are offering meats which look exactly the same and taste exactly the same like regular meat. But in India, companies are not being able to do that. So, do you think that's also a problem? That these companies are not concentrating on improving their quality, and trying to localize manufacturing as much as possible in terms of ingredients. So, do you think that is a
Right.
hindrance?
Right. I wouldn't say it's a black and white comparison, as how you've put it. I think other economies have a much harder job of educating their consumers to convert. Right. Thankfully, we have a population which doesn't need to convert. It just needs to adapt to a certain consumption pattern, which inherently already exists. Right. Um, so I feel the companies that you're referring to who've raised millions and billions of dollars now, um, they've had it harder to prove that people can change their consumption habits and that there's a sizable market size for it. And once they've gone ahead and done that, now you see the reason why they've been funded for the quantum they've been funded, because they've been able to prove that ability over time. Thankfully for Indian companies, that bridging the gap towards conversion is still low. It's still there. It's still going to take a while. Many startups will come and fail in the process, and but I still feel it's necessary for it to happen. So just to answer your question again, I don't think it's about quality control as much as it's about educating the customer to adapt. I think major efforts of plant-based companies should go towards that. Um, you know, the 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 only picture a plant-based company should focus about is how am I going to get my customer to make a repeat purchase, and that's kind of what I would focus on those micro problems, really.
Right. Okay, talking about replicating the Seattle startup ecosystem in India. So, what plans do you have for that? What is there in
Yeah,
your mind?
I mean, for sure. I mean, I definitely spent a lot of time studying and working in Seattle. Another, again, a great case study of a city which has done so well with the likes of a Amazon or a Microsoft, or even it's. I would say I was exposed to a lot of vegan elements there than I would have been back in Delhi, right? Um, Overall plans definitely, focus around helping ventures in this space. Trying to sort of make sure that companies which are able to address a large enough market size have a good go-to-market strategy, and try and accelerate and invest in them as early and as robustly as possible. Our entire job is to make sure that um, you know these companies are investment ready, not just for this next round, for sort of rounds to come, right? That these companies are ready and equipped to procure multiple rounds of capital moving forward, and that's an element of venture building that we inherently take very seriously at Huddle. For any company to be a part of our portfolio, we're looking at the longer picture, right? We're looking at the next 3 to 4 to 5 year horizon, and not sustainable, organic traction. We're looking at explosive businesses which can sort of achieve scale with speed.
Okay. So, one last quick question.
Yeah.
What kind of explosive businesses are you looking at right now?
What
Like,
kind of explosive businesses am I looking right now? Without giving away too much, I think consumer brands are just super easy for us to try and work things around, right? I think plant-based in itself is such a labyrinth. There's so many elements to plant-based consumption in the country, that we are certainly looking very closely there. I'm also looking very closely at, the sort of alternative medicine Ayurveda landscape in the country, because again, I feel that there already exists a behavior which is accustomed to Ayurvedic practices and consumption of Ayurvedic content, products, etc. A lot of more recent brands will tell you that the Ayurvedic focus has worked well for them, right? So consumer F&B, FMCG products, retail tech of any kind. Those are just some areas that we're looking at. Apart from consumer, of course, we also do spend a considerable amount of time working on sustainable energy projects, solar projects, EV companies, technology first companies, anywhere really. So yeah, those were just some areas that we're kind of currently focused towards. Yeah.
right. Okay, so if any company wants to approach you, what should they do?
Feel free to reach out to me. I'm fairly approachable. Or you could go to our website, huddle.work. Pretty straightforward there. Drop us a line, drop us a message. We're all available at all times. It's fairly easy enough to reach out to us. Yeah. And again, happy to talk to founders, not just from getting selected or getting applied or accelerating, etc. I would just like to sort of talk to founders in general about what economic trends that we are seeing from an investor perspective, right? I'm happy to part this knowledge, even if because at the end of the day, like I said, it's important for the space to grow right now, along with certain winners who will obviously perform better than others. But it's important for the space to grow in, and I'm happy to sort of do that every now and then. So if any founders are watching this, feel free to reach out to me. Happy to have a chat about your business and the larger ecosystem as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you rightly said, actually, sometimes it's not just about investment, it's also about fresher ideas that you can get. And, being a part of Huddle, you are exposed to new ideas and you can help companies, with your ideas and help them grow.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Sarthak. It was a lovely discussion.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Supriya. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.